The night was cold, so cold that every breath turned into a small cloud. Fading into the darkness, under the dim streetlight, a woman wrapped in a worn-out blanket sat against a brick wall. Her name was Lena. Once she had dreams, big ones. But life had stripped her of everything, her job, her home, and her hope. All she had now was a small cardboard sign that read, "Anything helps. God bless." She was invisible to most. People walked by without a glance, rushing home to warm houses and families. But Lena never blamed them. Everyone's fighting their own battles, she would whisper to herself. That night, as the city lights flickered across the skyline, Lena noticed something unusual, a faint orange glow in the distance. At first, she thought it was just the city's reflection, but then came the scream, a sharp, terrified cry that tore through the quiet. Lena jumped to her feet, the blanket falling from her shoulders. "Someone's in trouble," she said aloud, her heart pounding. She ran toward the sound, barefoot, ignoring the pain of the icy pavement cutting into her feet. When she turned the corner, her eyes widened. A small apartment building was on fire. Flames were already crawling up the walls, windows glowing with heat. A crowd had gathered, but no one dared go near. Sirens wailed in the distance, but the fire was spreading too fast. Then she heard it again, a child's voice screaming from the second floor. "Mommy, help!" Without a second thought, Lena sprinted toward the entrance. A man tried to stop her, yelling, "You can't go in there! It's too dangerous!" But she didn't stop. She couldn't. The smoke hit her like a wall the moment she entered. Her lungs burned, and her eyes filled with tears. But she pushed forward, one arm shielding her face. "Where are you?" she shouted. A faint cry answered from the left. She followed it, coughing, her body trembling from the heat. Finally, she saw a little boy huddled in the corner clutching a teddy bear. He couldn't have been more than 5. "It's okay, sweetheart," she said, her voice shaking. "I'm here. I'm gonna get you out." She wrapped her arms around him, covering his face with part of her blanket, and started back. The ceiling groaned above her. Flames licked at the walls. She stumbled, nearly falling, but kept going. Then boom! A beam crashed down, blocking the main path. Lena looked around frantically. There was a window, too small for her, but maybe just enough for the boy. She pushed it open, choking on smoke. The crowd outside screamed when they saw her. "Take him!" she cried, leaning out. 2 men below reached up. "Pass him down." She lowered the child as carefully as she could. Hands caught him, pulling him to safety. The crowd cheered, but before Lena could climb out herself, another explosion of flames knocked her backward. Everything went dark. When Lena woke up, she was lying in a hospital bed. Her head throbbed, her throat felt like sandpaper, and her arms were wrapped in bandages. "Easy," a nurse said softly. "You're safe now." "You saved that boy!" Lena's eyes fluttered. The kid, he's okay?" The nurse smiled. "He's fine. You got him out just in time. The fire department said if you hadn't gone in when you did..." She didn't finish the sentence, but Lena understood. Tears rolled down her cheeks. "Thank God." The nurse hesitated. "There's someone who wants to see you," she said. Lena frowned. "Who?" The door opened, and a tall man in an expensive suit stepped in. His face was pale, eyes red from crying. In his hands, he held the same teddy bear Lena had seen in the fire. "Are you the woman who saved my son?" he asked, his voice trembling. Lena blinked in confusion. "Your son?" He nodded, walking closer. "I'm Daniel Reed, my boy Oliver. He's everything to me. I left him with the babysitter for a meeting. And when I got the call about the fire..." His voice broke. "I thought I'd lost him." Lena tried to sit up. "He's safe. That's all that matters." Daniel looked at her, really looked. The hospital gown, the bandaged hands, the exhaustion in her eyes, yet there was peace in her face, a strange calm. "You risked your life for a stranger," he said quietly. "Why?" She smiled weakly. "Because no one else was moving. I've lost a lot in my life, Mr. Reed, but I still have my heart. I couldn't just stand there." He swallowed hard. "You're homeless, aren't you?" Lena looked away, ashamed. "Yeah, but it doesn't matter." Daniel stood there for a long moment, saying nothing. Finally, he placed the teddy bear on her lap. "You didn't just save my son's life, you saved mine, too. I'd forgotten what real kindness looks like. She smiled faintly. Then maybe we both got saved. He chuckled through tears. You're something else, miss. Just Lena, she said. Two days later, Lena was discharged from the hospital. She refused any charity, telling the nurses she'd be fine. But when she walked outside, the cold air bit at her skin again, reminding her of the reality waiting for her. She had nowhere to go. She found a quiet bench near the park and sat down, pulling her thin coat tighter. She looked up at the winter sky and whispered, "At least the boy's safe. That's enough." But then a black car pulled up beside the curb. A man in a suit stepped out. It was Daniel. He smiled gently as he approached her. "Thought I might find you here," he said. Lena frowned. "What are you doing here?" "I told you I owed you everything," he said. "And I meant it." She shook her head. "You don't owe me anything. I didn't do it for a reward." "I know," he said softly. "That's why you deserve one." He handed her an envelope. Inside was a letter on company letterhead and a set of keys. "What's this?" she asked. "My company owns several apartment units near downtown," he explained. "One of them is empty. It's yours now. Rent-free for as long as you need." Lena's eyes widened. "I can't accept this." "Yes, you can," he insisted. "Because people like you remind me what humanity is supposed to be. I run a billion-dollar company, but lately, I'd forgotten what truly matters." Her eyes filled with tears. "I don't know what to say." "Say you'll come work for me," Daniel added, smiling. "We need someone like you, someone who leads with heart. I want to start a new outreach division for the homeless. You'll help me build it." Lena covered her mouth in disbelief. "Me? But I'm exactly the kind of person who can change lives," he finished. She looked down at the letter again. It wasn't pity, it was purpose. Something she hadn't felt in years. Slowly she nodded. "Okay," she whispered. A week later, Lena stood in her new apartment, warm, safe, and filled with light. On her table sat a framed photo of Oliver smiling, holding his teddy bear. Beneath it was a note in a child's handwriting. "Thank you for saving me. You're my hero." She smiled, tears glistening in her eyes. For the first time in years, she felt seen, not as a burden, but as a blessing. And somewhere deep inside, she realized something beautiful. Sometimes, the people with the least give the most. Because kindness costs nothing yet changes everything.